Ever find yourself wondering how trauma surgeons, how do they make those split-second decisions? Like life or death in their hands.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So we are diving into Trauma Surgery Questions and Answers
Okay.
by Dr. Atef Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, this guy, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Really clear explanations, even though
Yeah.
this book, get this, is from 2050.
Interesting. Yeah, it's really something how this book, it's speaking from the future, but the core stuff, the core techniques, they haven't changed that much, have they?
No, they haven't.
It's still about saving lives.
It's like he's giving us a peek into the future of trauma care.
Right.
But through today's lens. And this Q&A format, genius.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's like, when a surgeon's in a life or death situation, they don't have time to read a textbook. They need answers and fast, This format, it just clicks.
It does.
Practical and engaging. Even if you're not a doctor, you get it.
So Dr. Ahmed, he jumps right into it.
Yeah.
The ABCs,
Right.
airway, breathing, and circulation.
Yeah.
Like we all know are ABCs.
Right.
But in trauma, that's different.
Yeah, it's not elementary stuff anymore, is it? It's a life or death, those ABCs, that's your lifeline. You stabilize them, you buy yourself time, crucial time.
And this is where this book, it sucks you in. For example, he talks about open fractures. And I'm sorry if you're squeamish.
Oh, yeah.
But we're talking bones sticking out, the works.
Yeah, you got to be ready, got to be precise. And Dr. Ahmed, he lays it all out. It's like you're right there in the OR, every step, every move.
It's incredible. He makes it, I don't know, accessible, even if you're not a surgeon. Then there's this part about Beck's triad. I had to look it up.
Really?
Low blood pressure, neck veins popping,
Yes.
muffled heart sound. It's like, what? They don't sound like they go together.
But that's just it. That's how you know it's bad. Like a 3-alarm fire, those 3 things, that's cardiac tamponade. Basically fluids crushing the heart.
So the body's sending an SOS.
Yeah.
And Beck's triad, it's how to hear it.
Exactly. And if, you can act. Life or death, This book, it doesn't just tell you, it tells you why, and that is gold.
It's true. It's like connecting the dots. But here's what surprised me. He goes beyond the operating room.
Oh, yeah. Trauma's way bigger than that.
Right.
The thing that blew my mind was how important a seatbelt mark can be.
Wait, so it's not just about, like, wearing your seatbelt.
It's a clue, right? Dr. Ahmed talks about how that mark, it could mean internal injuries, bad ones. You have to look for those things.
So it's like you see that mark, you got to think deeper.
Exactly. It's about the big picture.
Right. And speaking of big picture, he has this whole thing on the mangled extremity severity score.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that they'd have to decide if
they got to amputate.
yeah, tough call.
It's huge, right? You're not just talking about right now. You're talking about their whole life. Dr. Ahmed, he breaks down the score. Like, how bad's the injury? Is the blood flowing? How old are they? Are they healthy? Man.
Heavy stuff.
And you know what gets me? With all this intense stuff, he never forgets it's a person,
Oh, totally. Even in the preface, he talks about saving lives, that feeling, but he's honest, He talks about the pressure, the what-ifs.
It's real. Even with all the technology, it's still humans in there.
Absolutely. And he talks about minimizing iatrogenic trauma, which, I gotta be honest, I had to look up.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, isn't it?
It's like the trauma from the treatment itself.
Exactly. You're trying to fix them, but you got to be careful you're not making it worse. It's a balance.
Thinking long-term, not just patching them up.
Exactly. And that kind of leads us to what he talks about with the future of trauma. It's wild.
Yeah, like telemedicine and all that.
A surgeon right there guiding someone through a procedure, but they're miles away. It could change everything.
Especially, like you said, for folks who are out there, no hospital nearby.
Exactly. But I got to say, it makes you think, what if the internet's down?
Right. Or, like, who's making the calls? It's complicated.
It doesn't give you all the answers, but he makes you think. And that's what a good book does, right?
It does. So look, if you want to know what happens when things go really wrong, if you've ever been curious about those critical moments, you got to check out Dr. Ahmed's book. Even though it's from the future, it's still relevant today.
It's a fascinating look at what it takes to be a trauma surgeon, what they face every day. It's intense for sure, but honestly, it's a page turner.